Fionna and Cake continues to lay the groundwork for Season 2 with its second episode, The Crocodile Who Bit a Log, a title that refers to Huntress Wizard as she ends up paying a hefty price to save Finn by inadvertently sacrificing her power and finding herself far, far away from Moo. As always, we're gonna break down the episode for my biggest takeaways and the details you may have missed. Spoilers ahead, let's get started. This week's vignette is a flashback that was nearly a decade in the making as we finally get a glimpse into Huntress Wizard's origins and how she obtained her powers. As implied all the way back in Flute Spell, Huntress spent years of her childhood training with Spirit Dream Warrior to become a Green Wizard, practitioners of the very special kind of magic we've seen her wield throughout the franchise. And the source of the Green Wizard's power ends up explaining a lot of her abilities. The trial to become a Green Wizard requires a trainee to successfully split open a boulder down the middle with a stick as if it were a perfect egg crack, which Huntress was eventually able to accomplish after rigorous training that led to her enduring harsh weather conditions, neglecting her hygiene, and relying solely on the forest itself for both shelter and nourishment until she was in tune enough with the wilderness to pierce the stone. The inside of this boulder contains a fang-like fossil, as the next step in the Green Wizard ritual is to offer one's hand to the magic bush so that they can become one with the forest itself, with the bush enveloping the severed hand while the heart imbues the subject with its magic. Now, there's a couple of implications with this reveal. I believe it implies that Finn's weird limbo state is a result of him being impaled by the branches of the heart of the forest, but not being fully engulfed by it like Huntress's hand was. There also seems to be significance behind his blood remaining on the branches. If he truly is connected to the heart, he might be able to do some freaky cool astral plane shit while his physical body remains in critical condition. I also think the key to saving him might be returning him to the heart of the forest so that it can fully engulf his body while preserving his soul, similar to what happens to Huntress Wizard in this episode, so that the heart can spit him out as a brand new Finn once it sees that he's a man of good character. Now, while Huntress doesn't hesitate to slice off her arm and offer it to the heart of the forest, showing she has no qualms of making physical contributions, she does deny maintaining any kinship with the rest of the Green Wizards, opting to be on her own instead, which highlights her emotional invulnerability. And I think that invulnerability may be holding her back as both a person and a wizard, given that Witch Wizard, someone who's accepted the other Green Wizards, had a relatively more impressive display of magic, even if she still got her ass kicked, because Huntress is overall a vastly skilled warrior, magic or no magic. When Spirit Dream Warrior told Huntress that if you still seek power, the truth must bite, he wasn't just referring to hacking off a hand, but completely embracing her feelings. Her truth can't just linger in the back of her mind. It has to be set free. Huntress has embraced physically becoming one with the forest, but denied pursuing deeper relationships with the other Green Wizards, and she evades defining a relationship with Finn. I think this line indicates that emotional vulnerability will be key to Huntress harnessing the power to save Finn through her connection to the forest. With all that said, we're still missing a bigger piece of this puzzle. Why does Huntress Wizard want to be alone? Considering this season will be honing in on her relationship with Finn and why she has difficulty expressing how she really feels about him, I have a hunch that her habit of keeping people at a distance and her desire to obtain these powers were both motivated by the same thing. Maybe something happened with her family, and we'll uncover that truth through another flashback, revealing that Huntress has trauma that's left her unwilling to form a new family while giving her the drive to fend for and take care of herself by obtaining these magical powers. This episode finally lets us know what this mysterious bush that put Finn on his deathbed really is. As it turns out, the heart of the forest is actually the heart of the forest, as in, it's an elk-like deity that's been chained up and hibernating for ages. This is why the Green Wizards forbid people from approaching the heart of the forest, and why they're so secretive about this bush and their power. It wasn't bestowed upon them by the elk, but instead taken by force. They don't even acknowledge the deity as its own living thing, but instead as a battery, referring to the heart solely as the source. All this deer is to the Green Wizards is a means to an end. They know they're in the wrong too, as Huntress Wizard was kept in the dark about this truth. Maybe if Huntress stayed around the Green Wizards, they would have spilled the beans about the elk, but I think keeping anyone in the dark before they chop off a hand is pretty telling. After Huntress seemingly wounds the heart in an attempt to extract an antidote for Finn, the heart freaking implodes, revealing its true nature. It's not too dissimilar from Yggdrasil, a sacred tree in Norse mythology that's connected to all 9 realms. Here, when Huntress Wizard is sucked into the heart of the forest, she sees that the inside of the deity is a tree-like pocket dimension that's connected to the rest of the multiverse through various branches. Presumably, there's a heart of the forest in every universe. And I'm just gonna guess that the elk can't necessarily be killed for good, so it'll probably respawn somewhere else. Maybe this body anew will end up regrowing in a different part of the forest. The most likely scenario for the heart is that it'll be liberated by the end of the season and will only return its power to those who truly respect the forest. So although Huntress isn't close to the other green wizards, her connection to the forest may help her out in the end. The voice inside the tree is actually Prismo's voice actor in the last season, Sean Rahani, and my gut tells me that the voice is probably the heart itself. Hey, he already voiced one deity, why not another? Especially since the voice helps Huntress Wizard figure out how to navigate through the dimension. The red drops raining past Huntress are more than likely Finn's blood, as again, it was on the branches of the heart's head, reiterating the hero's newly forged connection to the forest. It also explained the shared dream Finn has of Huntress Wizard while the two are unconscious. The way Finn is translucent, almost spirit-like, it illustrates how he's caught between life and death, and how he has some sort of incomplete connection with the forest. And since Huntress has a connection of her own, along with their romance, the two are able to directly communicate when asleep. I'm assuming that once limbs are absorbed by the heart of the forest, they become seeds that are distributed throughout the multiverse. As we see this exact thing happen to Huntress's scattered body parts while her soul remains within the tree, equipped with the option to form a new body by attaching her soul to one of these seeds. These seeds drop in Fionna World, Farm World, Vampire World, Baby World, and a couple of other ambiguously depicted universes that I imagine will be relevant in either the final episodes of the season or even in season 3. And a little later, we see through the Farm World seed that Farm World Finn is alive and well after having a deadly run-in with Scarab. Since Huntress had to commit to where she wanted to respawn from, I don't think these seeds can cause the existence of like 5 Huntresses at once, unless Finn's hallucinations in the last episode were actually crazy wicked foreshadowing. That said, if something happens to Huntress, she might be able to regenerate in a different dimension, though that begs the question of if she'd be able to get back to Ooh through similar means, especially since she didn't even drop a seed there. And since Huntress had to regenerate from these seeds, I assume this method of multiverse travel is out of Prismo's jurisdiction, as this technically doesn't make Huntress a crossover, as her new body is being grown in Fionna World. She's ethically sourced. This is a force of nature. It's not something that's made through unconventional cosmic means like a Prismo wish or dark magic. Now, I don't have much to say about the Fionna World subplot in this episode. I think everyone agrees the dilemma with the sweet spot and Queenie is where the season drags a little, but this episode did confirm that anyone who arrived on Fionna World in the season 1 finale still resides there. Cairo Siphon, the deity that Scarab captured, returns in this episode and reveals that he's been laid off from his tea shop gig, and he's now working as a bodyguard for Queenie. Damn, tough times, dude. It's super interesting how he just wants to make ends meet and prefers a quiet, normal life otherwise, though he seems very depressed that he's not able to directly work in food service, as that experience seemed to make him genuinely happy. He ditched his original world for it. Under Queenie's management, he just has to be an asshole all the time, and that's not good for anybody. Also, everyone's taking shifts watching Baby Finn, and since he came from a world where everyone is stuck in a baby spinoff, I don't think he's ever actually gonna age. Fiona's just gonna have a little baby brother forever. The scene of her blatantly projecting the struggles of being in your 20s and 30s onto him was amusing and a little cathartic.
You're trying your best, but if you don't pull it together, everyone's gonna leave you.
But that's all we have for this one. Comment down below your thoughts on the episode. Why do you think Huntress wants to be a lone wolf? Do you think Finn's connected to the forest? Let us know in the comments down below. And keep the conversation going over on Twitter and Instagram at AwestruckFox and at Roundtable Vids. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable with notifications on so you never miss an Adventure Time video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. Peace!